Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to do our 5 deck ideas for the upcoming hero Wonder Man. So, at the time of this recording, yesterday, Fantasy Flight dropped an article for the third hero for the Civil War wave, Wonder Man.
Yeah, I wasn't able to actually participate in that, so I looked at him a little bit later, but definitely looks like an interesting character to play. I mean, I'm kind of definitely interested in seeing what the rest of his kit is going to look like,
Yeah,
so
but
that
they revealed
we
a
know what
lot.
all goes with it. But yeah, but
And yeah, so he's scheduled to come in February, along with another hero that they haven't announced yet. So, and that would conclude the Civil War wave. So we're getting Tigra and Hulkling in the Civil War box. Then we're getting an expansion with some more leaders.
and the Shadow, that's what we're going to call
Okay.
it. They haven't
Uh,
said who the next one's going to be, so
the silhouette.
it's silhouette. Okay, fine, the silhouette, whatever.
Okay. Yes. See what I have to put up with, guys. Yeah. So there is an unknown hero that they haven't announced yet. All right, but we're going to take a look at what Wonder Man can do. So first we'll start with his, oops, wrong way.
All right, so in Alter Ego, he's Simon Williams. He's a civilian. He's got a recovery of 3, and he has the ionic energy being. You may include events with a printed energy resource from any aspect in your deck. So interesting deck building thing for him, different than anybody else we've seen so far.
I love the unique deck building.
And for setup, you put ionic physiology into play, which is his. It's a upgrade, right? Of his.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a permanent. Yeah, so this will be the 7th hero with unique deck building. So that's really cool.
that's it. It feels like there's been more.
No, it's roughly about 10%.
Oops, sorry.
All right. So Wonder Man is a 2/1/2, and there's an asterisk on the attack. Aerial Avenger. So he does have printed aerial. So we have a lot of aerial deck ideas in our Angel video. He's an Avenger. We also have a dedicated Avenger video. So you can check out. So he would be great for any aerial and any Avenger decks that you've already done. But, obviously he's with the unique twist of adding energy events, off aspect energy events. You can come up with some very unique decks.
Yeah, I've got. In fact, one of the decks I'm doing is kind of aerial focused. So
All right, he's got power recycling. Wonder Man gets +1 attack for each card tucked under Ionic Physiology. And as a forced response, after Wonder Man makes a basic attack, discard each card tucked under Ionic Physiology. So yeah, so he can get up to a 4 attack temporarily. And then as soon as you do a basic attack with him, then you discard any of the events that you had tucked under Ionic
of course,
Physiology.
that's a basic attack. You can do other attacks that aren't basic and keep those there, and you can abuse that.
And
Which I think Dave's actually got a deck that is kind of themed into that a little
I
bit
have a deck where you're using his basic stat, but it's not with a
without
basic,
using a basic
without
attack.
doing a
Yeah.
basic attack. Yeah. All right. Then we got Ionic Physiology.
So the ionic physiology is this permanent upgrade. It's a superpower, and it can have a maximum of 3 cards tucked under here. But as a response, after you play an event with a printed energy resource, you can tuck that event from your discard pile under this card and heal 1 damage from your identity.
Yeah. So you're getting a lot of use out of those. I mean, you obviously get whatever the event does, then you get to heal 1, and then it gives you +1 attack when you do a basic attack. So you're getting 3 uses out of each energy event card.
Now, I'm assuming that it's like a lot of the other things that you can choose to tuck a card under there and you would just have to discard one of the cards that was already under there. I'm assuming that that's the way it's going to work in this case.
It doesn't matter because you don't get to, it doesn't matter what cards. It's not like Silk where it depends on what cards tucked under. You're just
Right,
getting
but a
you're just
maximum
getting a
of 3.
+1.
Yes, but you have to tuck a card to heal. If there's already 3 there, I'm
Oh, I
assuming
see.
you can tuck another card under
Oh,
and
okay.
discard one of the
Yeah,
previous cards.
I didn't think about that.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would assume so. I never even thought about that. What was it? Does it say? Yeah, it just says max 3. So yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I'm assuming unless they rule something differently.
All right. So we're gonna go over his kit card first. So he's got active altruism. It's a 0 cost event. thwart, remove one threat from a scheme, remove 2 additional threat from that scheme for each energy resource you overpaid for this card to a maximum of 2.
Yeah, so
So
you
yeah,
can remove 5 threat for 2 energy.
yeah,
So,
exactly. So he likes to play with overpay.
and his Ionic Blast event, that's an attack superpower, so you can deal 3 damage to an enemy and an additional 2 damage for each energy you overspend up to a maximum of 3. So you can actually deal, that's 79, that's 9 damage you can deal for a cost of 4.
Yes.
But I mean, I love the fact that the versatility to where you can do less if you don't need to do all of that. So
Right.
you don't have to do that full amount. So I really do like that. That's really cool.
All right, then we got Starstruck. It's a 1 cost event, attack superpower, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. If you overpaid for this card with an energy resource, stun that enemy. So again, if you have 3 events tucked under them, you're doing 4 damage. And if you overpay with an extra energy, you can do 4 damage and stun.
Yeah, and I love the fact Starstruck. So they play into the fact that he's a Hollywood star.
Yeah.
All right, then we've got his energy siphon. So this is a resource that, as an interrupt, whenever you spin this card, you can take up to 3 damage, and it generates 1 additional energy resource for each damage. So, I mean, it generates 1 to start with. You can get 4 by taking 3 damage. So that's pretty nice. Makes it very easy to overpay for some of these.
Yeah. And or pay for like a 4 cost event, you know.
Yeah.
All right, then we got the Jet Belt. It's a 2 cost upgrade. Item tech, exhaust Jet Belt, generate an energy resource for an event. Heal resource, exhaust Jet Belt, and discard a card tucked under Ionic Physiology to generate an energy resource. So the top part is you just exhaust it for an event. But the bottom one is you get rid of a card that you have tucked under there, and then you could generate energy to pay for anything. So if you want to pay for an upgrade or support or something, you know, you can use this card to help pay for that.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I did notice though is it doesn't provide energy.
Yeah,
It's mental.
that is
And I
true.
mean, I'm sure they're not going to have all of his cards providing energy, but
Yeah,
I did kind of expect it a little bit, to be
Yeah.
honest, when I kind of heard how he played.
yeah. But see, this is a device. This is not
Yes.
him. So, you know, it kind of makes sense that tech would be.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just, it did surprise me a little. All right, then Mr. Hollywood. So this is a 1 cost upgrade. It is a title, and it also generates an energy resource for a card, limit once per card. Not once per round or anything. You don't have to exhaust it. So if you've got like 3 or 4 cards that you want to try to pay off, this will actually help you pay for them.
Overpay.
Yeah, help you overpay for them.
Yeah, it's only for overpay though. You can't use it.
For overpay for
Yeah,
a
it's
card.
for overpay only. Yeah. All right. Then he comes in Justice. So we're going to go over his aspect cards and then a couple cards to add to his deck. We don't know what his deck is, so we haven't really modified deck 1 that much. But so this is deck 1. He's got a heroic conditionings, 3 cost upgrade, max play under. Yeah, let's try it again. It's a condition. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. You get +3 hit points, and your hero gets +1 thwart. So as we saw in the Tiger article, there's an aggression version, and then a content creator showed us that there's one in Hulkling's deck as well for protection. So now you get +1 to all. If you got a 3-player multiplayer game and you've got players that are willing to play cards on other players, which not every group has, unfortunately, then you get +1 to each stat, and you would get 9 hit points. And you throw in endurance, and you could have 12 hit points. So that's really cool.
Jeez.
So now check out our Hulk deck where we kind of projected a little nuts on that. So if you want to see that in action.
All right, then we've got Firebird. So she has a 2 cost ally. She's an aerial avenger. So she thwarts for 2, she attacks for 2, she has 2 hit points. And if you overpay for her, you can put 1 rebirth counter on her. Now notice it doesn't say you have to overpay with energy. You just overpay for her, period. You could put a rebirth counter on her. And as an interrupt, whenever she would be defeated by consequential damage, you can remove a rebirth counter from her and heal all damage to her instead. So it gives you extra uses from her.
Yeah. So so in effect, she's got 4 hit points, you know, in a way.
If you're using her just for her activations, yes.
Yeah, which of course, you know, you don't want to. So you thwart a couple turns, then the rebirth counter goes away, you can thwart again,
Well,
and then you can chump block.
or
Or
more
you can,
effectively, thwart and then attack, and then do a thwart and attack, or double thwart.
yeah,
But the first time around, do a thwart and then an attack.
yeah, you could do that as well because she would be defeated by consequential damage with an extra one even. So yeah, so she could thwart twice and attack once, or thwart 3 times and then chump block. You know,
Yep.
so yeah, you've got a lot of uses, a lot of combos you can do with her. All right, then we got everywhere all at once. Sorry, it's cut off under our window a little bit. Cost X, aerial thwart. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait, which you do. Hero action thwart. Choose X schemes. Remove 2 threat from each chosen scheme. 3 threat instead if you overpaid for this card. So there's like,
Oh, it's like a Jessica event.
or it's like I was thinking like it's a epic multiplayer or multitasking,
Yeah.
and you only have to overpay by 1 to turn all those into a 3. So yeah, if you're going to remove threat from 3 schemes, you pay 3. You use Mr. Hollywood for the for the overpay, and now you're removing 3 threat from 3 schemes
For a cost of 3.
for a cost of 3. Yeah.
That's nice. All right, then we've got Sentry. So he is an aerial avenger, thwarts for 2, attacks for 3. He costs 3, and he's got 5 hit points. And as a forced response, after he enters play, you can search the encounter deck for a side scheme and reveal it. And then if there was no side scheme revealed this way, you place 6 threat on the main scheme. So if you're trying to get out a side scheme, he's definitely beneficial there. However, if you whiff on it, he does have the negative of adding 6 threat to the main scheme. So you want to be careful that that's not going to pop you just in case.
Right.
So,
Yeah. This actually would be a good addition for Cable.
oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then we got Scarlet Witch. She costs 2, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points. Avenger, Mystic, force response. After you play Scarlet Witch, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it's a treachery card, resolve its when revealed ability. So of course, if it's like an assault or an advance, you're going to have to resolve it on the hero turn, or worse, Shadow of the Past. So
Yeah.
yeah, just team up with Falcon and you'll be fine.
Although if it's a shadow, then you can still just attack it and get rid of it.
Yeah, but then your Nemesis sets in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, attack the nemesis and just get rid of it.
Yeah, well, it's only 2 points. You only do 2 damage with her, but yeah. But the big thing is just team up with Falcon, and then you know what's on top. So more team up with Falcon is always good.
All right, then we have Stronger Together. So this is a 0 cost event. As a hero interrupt, whenever a character other than your hero would take any amount of damage, if that character shares a trait with your hero, you can reduce that damage by your defense. So this is a way that you can protect other characters, allies, or other heroes that share traits with you.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, also this is a protection event first of all, because he can have off aspect events. But yeah, if someone is going to be defeated, you can say nope, reduce the amount of damage you took by 2, that kind of thing, and you don't have to exhaust or anything like that. So it's just a way to keep the other players, or maybe you can save your ally that would be defeated, who is chump blocking for you.
Yep.
That's really nice card. All right, Bombs Away. This is a reprint with a new art, 2 event. Aerial tactic is the aggression, of course. Hero action: exhaust an aerial character you control and choose a player. Deal 3 damage to the villain, and each minion engage with that player.
I kind of like this artwork on this one.
Yeah, the
Iron Man.
Iron Man army.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like scene from like Iron Man 3 or something.
All right, then we've got Unified Strikes. So this is a 0 cost tactic event. As a hero interrupt, whenever an ally uses a basic power, you can exhaust your hero, add your hero's matching power to that ally's power, and the ally does not take consequential. So not only are you adding your potentially 4 attack to the ally's attack in this case, but then they're not taking consequential damage either.
Yeah.
So
this is really nice with the allies that take like 2 consequential,
yes,
the attack or something. That's usually they're pretty little more powerful allies that, and so they compensate by having them take 2 consequential. But this would negate that. So that's pretty good. And you might see this card in some of our decks coming up. All right. So the rest of deck 1, I only thought of a couple cards because, again, we haven't seen the full deck yet. So these are cards that I'll probably add no matter what
Yeah, it's kind of hard on this particular one because he's got such a unique deck build. It's kind of hard to kind of figure out how to
Right.
upgrade his deck at this point.
Yeah, and we're not going to list every single event with energy because we
No, I'm not gonna do
maybe we'll do a
it.
separate video like maybe when he comes out or something. But just kind of like what we did with Maria for all her.
That's going to be a long video.
No, it won't.
That's a lot of events.
Yeah, but it won't be any other cards. All right. So one card that I'm pretty sure will just be very useful for him is a helicarrier. So 3 cost support, location shield, max 1 per player, exhaust helicarrier, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card. That player plays this phase by 1.
I think this next card might actually be a little bit more beneficial to him, though.
Yeah.
Because his next card is the Quinn Carrier. So this is a 3 cost support. It's an Avenger vehicle. You do have to be an Avenger to play it, but you can exhaust this to generate a wild resource. So in other words, you can generate an energy with this to help pay for stuff or overpay.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to deck 2. So deck 2, Unified Strike is a key card in this deck, even though it's a leadership event. But when an ally uses a basic power, you exhaust your hero, add your hero's matching power to that ally's power for this use. That ally does not take consequential damage for this use.
Yeah,
so that is going to be one of the key cards.
Yeah, because it does provide energy. You can include this in any deck of his.
Correct. So I've got a few allies that are candidates. One of them, so this is an aggression deck. So would be Sentry, the aggression Sentry. He costs 4, 2 thwart, 3 attack, 5 hit points. Force response after Sentry enters play under your control, deal yourself an encounter card. But the important thing is Sentry's providing 3 and Wonder Man is providing 4. So you're doing, when you have 3 events tucked under them. So you're doing 7 and no consequential damage, which is great.
Yeah, and you've got the added bonus of the fact that he provides energy, so if you needed to use him, you could.
Yeah. Another candidate is Thor, Odin's son. He costs 3, 1 thwart, 3 attack, 2 consequential. Again, we could ignore that. 3 hit points. Asgard Avenger comes in tough. When Thor attacks a minion engaged with a player, you could spin an energy resource. I don't know if you got any energy. Resolve that attack against each minion engaged with that player. And that would be, with this unified strike, that's a lot of damage that you can do. Another potential ally for this would be Wasp. She costs 0, 1 thwart, 3 attacks, 0 hit points. Aerial Avenger. Wasp gets +1 hit point for each PIM counter on her. When Wasp enters play, place 1 PIM counter on her to a maximum 3 for each energy resource you overpaid for Wasp's cost. Now, it's got the keyword overpay, so Mr. Hollywood can provide 1. So for absolutely free, you can give Wasp 1 hit point. And since she's not going to take any consequential damage, that's all you need for her, really. But
yeah, I would actually try to get a couple more just in case she takes some kind of
I would too.
Alternate damage.
Yeah, like you use the energy card or something.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is, for free, you actually can have her stay out on the board.
Yep.
Another candidate is Wolverine. He costs 4, 1 thwart, 3 attack, 2 consequential, 4 hit points. X-Men, Wolverine's attacks gain piercing. As your turn begins, heal 1 damage from Wolverine. Now, Wolverine also has the added bonus for the turns where you don't have Unified Strike in your hand. He still can hit pretty good and be able to recover from it slowly with his healing factor.
Yep.
All right, got a couple other allies that are because of a specific card that's coming up. So I got Martin X here. He costs 3, 1, 1, 4. He only provides 1 attack, but he's for one of these other cards that's coming up. Reduce the cost to play Martin X by 1 if your identity has a guardian trait. Unfortunately, you don't have that. And then Star-Lord here. He costs 2, 2 thwart, 2 attack. Star-Lord's attacks gain ranged, so you can ignore retaliate, which is great. After Star-Lord enters play under your control, deal yourself 1 face down encounter card. Okay, so those are specifically when you see the rest of the deck here. So this is the other critical card for the deck concept, Brute Force. It's a 1 cost upgrade. Your hero gets +1 attack. Your basic attacks gain piercing. Force response. After you make a basic attack, you discard Brute Force. So normally, you do a basic attack, boom, it goes away. This, you add 3 of these to your deck. Now, Wonder Man is a 7 for Unified Strike. And since it's the ally that's actually attacking and not Wonder Man, you are don't have to give up the events that are under him, and you don't have to give up the brute force.
Yep.
Okay, so we have as one. This is an alliance card. That's why I got a couple guardians in here. You can exhaust Avenger character and a Guardian character to deal X damage to an enemy, where X is the combined attack of those cards. The attack gains overkill. So again, the brute force and the events that are tucked under Wonder Man count. And then that's why you've got Star-Lord and Martin X there to be able. So it's not as big of an attack as maybe Unified Strike would do, but it's still a very good attack. I mean, it's still 9 damage with Star-Lord. So
yeah, and the cool thing though is it's an alliance, so you actually, somebody else could actually exhaust a guardian too. If you either, if you're playing with another guardian, then you don't necessarily have to add Star-Lord and Martin X.
Yeah.
Somebody else could actually provide the guardian.
Right. Or if, it's like, hey, if you've got a spare resource, even if I'm doing my characters, if Dirk has a spare resource that he's not using, then he can provide, one of the alliance, or, heck, he might even pay for it for me to do it. But, he'd have to have 2 spare resources at that point, which is not very likely. But all right. Also, we want to
Depends on my build. I've got a few builds that do that.
Yeah, sometimes you're flooded with resources. I mean, it just happens. All right, so then we got combat training here. It's a 2-cost upgrade. Play under any player's control. Max 1 per player. Your hero gets +1 attack. So now Wonder Man has a base 2. You become a 5. It becomes an 8 if you've got the brute forces on him. And I forgot to load up the page, but I'll put it on the screen. Avenger aggressive conditioning, which is coming in Tigra. That costs 3. Play under any player's control. Your hero gets +1 attack and +3 hit points. So now you've got the 2 from the upgrades. You've got the 1 that he comes with, so that's 3. 3 from the 3 events that are under him, that's 6. And 3 from the brute force. Wonder Man is providing 9 attack.
How's that for a unified strike?
Yeah, you put that with, especially with, say, Sentry or Wasp, who, is doing 3 damage. That's 12 damage. Then you can also add this card now for the Unified Strike. Enraged, 1-cost upgrade, attached to an ally, max 1 per ally. Attached ally gets +2 attack and takes 1 additional consequential damage after it attacks. Well, as you can see, that ally does not take consequential damage for the use.
So, as long as they're playing the Unified Strike, correct?
Yeah, with the Unified Strike. So now you are adding an extra 2 on top of that. So
now it's 13.
No, 14.
14?
Yeah, for the 3s.
Oh, extra 2.
Extra 2. Okay. Then some events. It is aggression, so this one doesn't add anything to it. But I just thought this would be a good card. Discard cards from the top of the hero deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play, engage with you, ready your hero. So if you end up, say, having 2 Unified Strikes in your hand, you could do this, play this to ready Wonder Man and be able to do it again. So there's that. Now, it's a attack focus deck, obviously, but it's you might want to be able to control threat a little bit. So I thought of this card, Foiled. When a boost card is turned face up during a scheme, the scheme activation cancel its boost. So if you decide to go to alter ego, or if you're playing a multiplayer and the other player's an alter ego, it's just a nice card to cancel the thwarting.
Yep.
And just to continue the abuse, lead from the front, 2-cost event, tactic, choose a player. Each character that player controls gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. All right, so that was deck 2.
So now what I kind of like about that one is you were talking about it's generally attack focus, but what I would probably be doing with that build in particular is I would have the allies doing the attacks with these cards, and I would be thwarting.
Yeah, and I thought about that, and so there is the card Teamwork, which I'll put on there, which is like the opposite of Unified Strike, where you combine an ally and the hero, and it's the hero doing it. So, and the ally doesn't take consequential damage because it's exhausted. So that's a possibility. But this is mainly, I'm kind of mainly focusing on being the attacking player in that deck.
Yep.
But yeah, I just put foiled into this kind of help balance it. I don't know if foiled will make the final cut. This is not going by exactly what knowing what the deck is. I mean, the oops, Bombs Away is good card. Stronger Together, that that could survive in the deck conceivably. Um, Bombs Away could conceivably be in there as well, just good for like turns that I don't have the Unified Strike. So, anyways, that was deck two.
All right,
Okay,
go ahead and flip back to the bombs away.
Bombs Away.
So for my deck, my first deck here is I actually this is the one that I decided to go more for an aerial theme. So it is it's not using as much um, of his attack pumping or anything there. That's kind of secondary to this one, but it is playing heavily into the aerial theme. And the other thing of note of this deck is every card that I'm going to show here has provides energy. And I actually took it, and you could actually take the cards, these cards specifically, do a maximum count of each of these, and I think it gives you a 4, 5, 6. Well, maybe not a maximum count, but like just yeah, we'll see. Okay, so what I did first is we'll start with since we're on aerial theme, so we've got some aerial allies, and I decided to build this one in leadership because it had a good number of aerial allies that provided energy resources. So the first one I've got here is Arrow. So Arrow's 3-cost ally, thwarts for 1, attacks for 1. She is Aerial Agent of Atlas. It's got 3 hit points. And as a hero action, you can exhaust her, choose a player. Until the end of the phase, each aerial character that player controls gets +1 attack. So, of course, you're probably going to choose yourself since you're building into the aerial theme. But if you had another player at the table who does have several aerial characters, you could do it for them as well. So she's the first one. Next here, I've decided to put Hugin and Munin in the deck. So they are a 2-cost ally. They thwart for 1, attack for 1, have 2 hit points. Aerial Asgard Bird, but as a response, after they enter play, you can search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it into play engage with you, and ready 1 character you control for each icon in the minion's boost area. So you can control, if you've only got a couple of characters, you can pick somebody who's just got 2 in there. You can pick somebody bigger, or, it's a little flexible there depending on what you want to do. But again, they provide energy. Next, I've got Captain Marvel. So she is a 5-cost ally, which for me is an extremely expensive ally, but she works in this deck, and we'll get to why she's not as bad in a little bit. But she's a 5-cost ally. She thwarts for 2, attacks for 3 with 2 consequential, and she has 4 hit points. She is an aerial avenger. And after she enters play, you can discard the top 4 cards of your deck, and if you discard a printed energy resource, you deal 3 damage to an enemy. Considering every card we're adding here, and so that's a minimum of 25 cards that we're adding that all provide energy, very good chance you're going to get at least 1 out of this. If you discard more than 1 printed resource, you're going to stun the enemy as well. So you're probably doing 3 damage and stunning that enemy.
It all depends on how many non-energies are in his kit.
Yes, and that we don't know. We know I guarantee there's at least 1.
Yeah, the jet belt, I think.
But even if all 15 of his were, which I know they're not, even if all 15 of them were, there's still more energy that we're adding to the deck than non. Yeah. So then we've got Spectrum here, also a 5-cost ally. She thwarts for 1, attacks for 1, has 3 hit points. She's an aerial avenger, and then after you play her, you can tuck 1 card under used to pay for under her. And if that card has the printed resources below, then she gets those. More than likely, she's going to be coming in with 2 additional hit points.
But ideally, you put a wild in there.
If you can, yeah, if you can. And there's possibly wild, I don't know. Depends on if he comes with any wild, because I did not add any. And then the last ally that I've got here is Sunspot. So Sunspot is a 3 cost aerial X-Force ally, thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, has 2 hit points. And then after you play Sunspot from your hand, you choose a player, deal 1 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player for each energy resource used to pay for Sunspot. And we're going to probably try to do 3 if we can. So taking more advantage of those. A couple of another card here that I would say, since it provides energy resource, and I've got a few more allies than I generally put in a deck, I would probably be throwing a Triskelion in here, which is a 1-cost support. I can increase my ally limit by 1 to 3, but if I needed to, I can use it for the energy as well on that. Next card we've got here is, oh, wait a minute, hey, Bombs Away. So now we've got both the older art and the new art for it. But this one, of course, we've got several aerial characters, so you can exhaust an aerial character you control, choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain for each minion engaged with that player. And, of course, provides energy. So we can use that one.
You're going to mix the 2 arts?
No, I don't know. It's up to you.
To me, it's your deck.
Well, I just already had the card out, so I figured, that's true. Sure. Hey, are there 3 arts? I'll do 1 of each.
There's only 2.
Okay, I'll have to figure out what I do. All right, then we've got Yaw and Roll. So this, I actually really love this card, but it's an aerial fort. It's a 1-cost event. You do have to be aerial to play this, which you are, but after your hero thwarts, you remove 3 threat from a scheme.
So it has nothing to do with Nova being in the arsenal.
Yes. Nah, it's just gravy. I also thought here that this would be a good addition to it. So this is Aerial Intervention. So this is a 0-cost event. Does provide energy, though. But whenever a character would take any amount of damage from an attack, you can exhaust an aerial creature or character you control and prevent up to 3 of that damage. So this allows you to actually kind of save some damage to some of your minions if you needed to use them for chump blocking, or you can use it for yourself as well. Of course, we're going to throw in a copy of the energy. Because we can. It provides energy, and we can add 1 per deck. And I'm probably throwing in, since we went aerial heavy, I love the fact that Power of Flight actually provides dual energy for aerial cards. So we do have quite a few aerial cards in this deck this will work with. But even if not, it still provides the printed aerial resource. So it works on any of these cards that require that.
Printed energy.
Or printed energy. That's what. Yes. We're calling energy the aerial resource now.
No, we're not.
I am. At least for this video. Or for this part of the video. All right, but some other cards that I thought that worked really well, that leadership cards that also provide energy resources, so they fit into that part of the theme, but they provide other effects that work well in the deck. We've got a command team here. I'd probably go with at least 2, maybe 3 of these. They come in with 3 command counters, but you can exhaust it, remove a command counter, and ready an ally you control. And of course, since we have Avengers in the deck. We do have a couple of Avengers in here, so I would throw some Sky Cycles in here. You can exhaust it, attach to an aerial ally. It gives them aerial. Well, your allies already have aerial, but that's okay. But you can exhaust it to ready the attached ally. So it's an additional way to ready allies additional turns. And then, of course, since we're going to be using them additional times, let's throw some reinforced suits on them as well. You can attach these to an ally, 1-cost upgrade, armor tech, maximum 1 per ally, but they get 2 additional hit points. So, like I said, it focuses on the aerial portion of it because every one of the events that I added, not only do they provide energy, but they are also aerial events. All of the allies have aerial, so you're able to utilize the Power of Flight. And you're able to utilize all of that extra energy, so you can use it to either pump up your events, to overpay, or, to pay, because several of these also get a benefit out of aerial or out of energy resources as well. So that's kind of what I liked with it. And this is one I actually think I'm definitely going to try to make sure I thought this was kind of a really neat idea. I'm going to build this one and play it whenever he comes out.
Okay, which would be in February.
Wow. Dang it.
All right. So that was deck 3. So now normally in these 5 deck ideas, we include a basic deck, but the problem that we see with, when we build our basic deck, the idea is to get, a big board state on the board, and then you can use your kit cards more.
Yeah.
But his big power is
he takes advantage of events.
Advantage of events, and we don't add a lot of events to our basic deck. So while it'll still work because, he's got events, I don't see it being efficient.
Yeah, it doesn't play into him very well.
Yeah, so that's a spoiler. So Dirk's deck number 5 is not basic. So I decided to do pool because we haven't included pool much in these 5 deck
Yeah, the
ideas.
biggest problem with pool, there's such a small card
Yeah,
supply.
yeah,
There's not a lot of variation in it. But this one, I
right,
definitely think you can get some in
right.
out of it.
So the cards that I've added aren't necessarily energy, but they're just, I think, very efficient for a pool deck. So first we got Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She costs 4, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 4 hit points. Psionic X-Force. When a treachery is revealed, 2 damage. Deal 2 damage to Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Cancel the treacheries when revealed effects, and provides a hazard.
Yeah, she's probably my favorite of the pool
Yeah,
allies, to be
so
honest.
this is a treachery canceller basically. Now, obviously, we got self-preservation here. This is the energy resource. Um, double the number of resources this card generates if your identity has sustained less than 5 damage. Triple the resource instead if you've taken none. Now, for this, I've only included the one. I don't know if I would include the other two or not. Since I might not be going full energy, I probably would include the other two.
Yeah,
But for
but
now, I just for this purpose, I've only got
yeah,
just the
but
one
the
in.
cool thing is you're probably usually going to get the 2, if not the 3 out of him, because he does have the ability to heal himself.
Right. Yeah.
So you're more likely than you
And
will
I,
with the
I
one with
do have
barriers.
some off aspect events in this deck too. All right, so barely a scratch. It's a hero interrupt defense. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent one of that damage for each of the bad symbols in play. Then it's not a Dave pool deck without cut upper. Costs 3. Hero action attack, deal 5 damage to an enemy and stun that enemy. And as you see so far, I'm not really worrying about energy for at least the pool cards. Then we got Mulligan, 3 cost event. You cannot play this card if you have played another card this phase. Discard your hand, draw a new hand, up to your hand size. So that's just, you can cycle through your deck to get to the events if you get a bad hand. Then we got Bazooka here. It's a 2 cost upgrade, restricted, max 2 per deck. Hero action, attack, discard, bazooka, deal 1 damage to an enemy for each of the bad symbols in play. This attack gains range.
But this one does actually provide the
Yep.
energy, and since I don't think we haven't seen a weapon from him yet, and we probably won't, because I don't really recall him ever using weapons.
Right. But yeah, this is actually a weapon heavy deck because I probably put 2 bazookas in. Healing factor here, 3 cost upgrade, max 1 per player. After the player phase begins, exhaust healing factor, heal 2 damage from your identity, so more healing.
Yeah, and this one actually, even in a solo game, I would probably put at least 2 of them into guarantee you're going to get to it sooner, but the fact that it also provides energy so you can take advantage of that.
Yeah. Then we got laser swords, 3 cost upgrade, counts as 2 restricted cards, max 1 per deck. Your hero gets +1 attack for each of the bad symbols to a maximum of 4. Another staple in Dave decks. Stick 2-ness, 2 cost upgrade. Hero action, spend a strength resource and exhaust this card. Ready your hero. Now, of course, he's mostly energy centric, but I'm including some non energy, and I have a resource generator that's not just for energy.
Yep, I think I know what it is. I
Uh,
think
th-
we've already seen it once in this video.
maybe. Then, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weapons, so including a side holster here. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. You can control 1 additional weapon upgrade that has the restricted keyword. And then some of these you've seen in my other deck, but they're just pretty useful. We got spoiling for a fight. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play, engage with you. Ready your hero. And foiled again. So when a boost card is turned face up during a scheme activation, cancel the boost icons. And we got lead from the front again. 2 cost event. Choose a player. Each character that player control gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. Then for basic, we got Nick Fury here. He costs 4, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points, shield spy. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1, remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. At the end of the round, if Nick Fury is still in play, discard him. Nick Fury Sr., 4 costs, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points, shield soldier. After Nick Fury Sr. enters play, choose 1, remove 3 threat from a scheme, draw 2 cards, or give a shield character a tough status card. At the end of the round, if Nick Fury Sr. is still in play, discard him. The third option, probably not going to happen. And then to round out the disposables, we got Professor X here. He costs 3 thwart, 0 attack, 3 hit points. Psionic X-Men. After Professor X enters play, choose one. Confuse the villain, stun a minion, or ready an X-Men character. At the end of the round, if Professor X is still in play, discard him. Again, the third option is probably not going to happen. Then, since I got some spindy basic cards, threw in the power of all of us. This is why I may not include the other pool cards. I don't know. But there's a wild generator for, stick to itiveness for, or, getting Nick or, Professor out.
Yeah. There's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. So there's the Quinn Carrier. Cost 3. Play only if you have an Avenger. You're an Avenger, which you are. Exhaust the Quinn Carrier and generate a wild. Helicarrier, 3 cost support. Exhaust Helicarrier. Choose a player. Reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. And of course, since you're playing pool, and it's my chosen aspect, I have to include this card. Prices of Infinite Deadpools. Reveal the set aside, when it's revealed, reveal the set aside Deadpool minion, Dreadful Deeds, Side Scheme. Shuffle the rest of the set aside Dreadpool encounter set into the encounter deck. Remove this card from the game. So this is the pool Shadow of the Past.
All right. Okay, and then so
now we're moving to deck.
Yeah, for my last deck here, this one, it is not entirely energy, but it is predominantly. I think there is. Yeah, I've included one card in here that does not provide energy, so kind of did break that theme just a little bit. But it's a really good card for this aspect. So the aspect we went with is protection. So what we're doing here is we are not going with the aerial thing here. We're basically just we are trying to stick predominantly to energy on this build again, but we are playing more into the protection side of it a little bit. So the first one we've got here is Warpath. So Warpath's a 4-cost ally. He is Aerial X-Force. He thwarts for 2 with 2 consequential, and he attacks for 1. He comes in with toughness, and then after he defends against an attack, if you can play an event with a hero action ability from your hand, paying its cost. Now, I have not actually used him in a deck yet, so this is going to be like probably my first opportunity to do that. So I'm not exactly sure what additional benefit that gives me, but we'll have to see. Because I'll probably try it just for the heck of it.
Well, the nice thing is, though, if it's an event, an energy event, then you can tuck it under ionic physiology. When you're
that is true. All right, next here we have Siren. So Siren is a 4-cost ally. Aerial X-Force. Wow, they actually are aerial. It was not intentional. So Siren thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, has 3 hit points. But after Siren attacks, you can stun a minion. And then the last one here, of course, is Nova. So Nova is a 4-cost ally. Thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, has 3 hit points. He's a champion. He is not aerial.
Even though he's flying.
Yeah, even though he should be aerial. I mean, come on, it's Nova. But whenever an enemy initiates an attack against you, you can spend an energy resource. And of course, we've got plenty of energy in this deck to deal 2 damage to that enemy. And since that doesn't require exhausting or anything, you can do that for multiple different enemies if you have multiple enemies engage with you. Now, this might be a first for me. I'm actually including one of the big helicarriers in my deck voluntarily. But I would be throwing in the Pericles, mainly because the Pericles actually provides energy resources for me. So it does feel like a good fit in this deck, and it plays into the protection side of it very well. It does, since it's not Maria, unfortunately, we're only going to get 2 supply counters on it, so use them wisely. But you can exhaust the Pericles and remove 1 supply counter from it to give a hero or villain a status card of your choice. You can also give an ally or a minion a status card of your choice. So you're probably either going to stun or confuse the villain, depending on what is going on there, and then give a tough to one of the allies, is probably what's going to happen here. But the one card that I've included that does not actually provide energy but it's the armored vest, and it is a 1 cost upgrade that ups your defense by 1. So this felt like, even though it doesn't provide the energy, it still feels like a really good fit for his deck, especially with some of the other cards that we're going to use in the deck.
Are you going to put a defensive conditioning in the deck?
So I am probably going to put a defensive conditioning, which we'll put up on the screen. I don't remember what aspect that provides, and I don't really care. I probably would actually put one of those in the deck, but of course we don't have the card here.
It's another +1 defense.
Yes,
and 3 hit points.
And 3 more hit points. But I've also
which actually helps with this card.
Yes,
3 extra hit points.
Dauntless. So Dauntless is one that you can play it under any player's control. It's a 1-cost upgrade. But while your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your hit points, your starting hit points, then you get Retaliate 1. And it does not require you to block to get that. Next, since we're not actually probably blocking that much in this deck, I throw in Defensive Stance in there. This is a 2-cost upgrade, max 1 per player, but whenever you would take any amount of damage, you could discard this to prevent 3 of that damage. Now, even though it is max 1 per player, I'm probably putting at least 2, if not 3 of these in the deck, just to make sure that I can keep one out as often as possible.
Oh, they are preparation cards.
Oh, yeah. But Energy Shield. So this is one that I've not really played much of because I do think that the cost is a little excessive. Even though it's a 0-cost upgrade, the cost of using it is fairly high. But since we're using a lot of energy in this deck, it feels like it actually fits in here pretty well. It's probably going to be the first time I'll use this, but you can attach to a character, max 1 per character. So you could actually attach one of these to an ally, and I'm probably going to put 3 of these in the deck so that I could do that if I chose to. But as an interrupt, whenever the attached character would take any amount of damage, you can spend X energy resources to prevent X of that damage. So depending on, how much damage one of the allies took or you would take in this case, you can prevent up to 5 damage. I mean, that's going to wipe your entire hand out, but if you need to do that, if the conditions are right, you might need to do that. You could. I would also throw in at least 1 force field generator. This one, it's a 3-cost upgrade, uses 6 energy counters. But as a force interrupt, whenever you would take any amount of damage, you remove that many energy counters and prevent that much damage. So if you have 3 left on it, you take 5 damage, you'll remove 3, prevent 3 of it, you'll only take 2. And then the last card here I'm throwing in, well, not the last card, actually, there's one other. But we'll throw in a Nerves of Steel. So this is a 0-cost upgrade. I'm sorry, it's a 2-cost upgrade. You can play it under any player's control, max 1 per player, but you could exhaust this to generate an energy resource for a defense event. And of course, you do have defense events in here, so generating the energy for those is nice. Although, I mean, it's all it's paying for is that. You're not paying for any overpay or anything there. And then the last one that I would actually include in the deck is the energy card, or the defense card that came with them, the Stronger Together here, because it also provides energy, but it's a 0-cost event that whenever a character other than your hero would take any amount of damage, if that character shares a trait with your hero, you can reduce that damage by your defense. So that's another additional reason to actually pump up your defense a little bit here. But then you've got cards like Siren and Warpath here, each share aerial with you, so that you can actually use it to protect them as well. Or any other character in the game that shares a trait with you, or yourself, for that matter.
No, you can't do it.
Oh, no, other than your hero. Okay, so you can't do it for yourself. But I do like the fact that they've started including some of these cards that work to protect another player without you necessarily having to block for them.
Yeah.
So I do like that, and some of that they've added to it.
And the nice thing with this card, it's after the attack, so they would take any amount of damage. So especially like in multiplayer, like Dirk and I, we play 2-player a lot. So if the villain does just enough damage to kill me, say, he say, oh no, we're stronger together, so now I have 2 hit points instead of 0 hit points or something.
Yeah, and so those were the allies and the setup cards that I've got. Now, as far as the events, actually, no, wait, did I? Oh no, I missed one. It got stuck in the wrong stack. Energy barrier. Hey, that sucker provides energy as well.
It does.
But yeah, so this is one, of course, it's a 2-cost upgrade. Comes in with 3 reflection counters, but whenever you would take any amount of damage, you could exhaust it. And basically, you're reflecting one of that damage back to the enemy. You don't take it, they do. So yeah, I missed that one. So then as far as some of the events that I thought would work really well, of course, since you're playing protection, and you do have some aerial characters here, of course, aerial intervention that we saw in my earlier deck. You can exhaust an aerial character and prevent up to 3 of that damage. Desperate defense, of course, it's a stalwart in protection decks, but provides energy. But whenever your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 for the defense, and if you don't take any damage, you can ready your hero.
Not to be confused with the trait stalwart.
What did I say, stalwart? What?
You said it's a stalwart in your deck.
Oh, okay. Yes. I didn't even catch that. All right. And then, of course, I would actually consider probably adding at least one or two of these into these next couple of cards into the deck. So, Into the Fray is an aggression event that deals 6 damage to a minion, and for each point of excess damage dealt by this attack, you can remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So, quite a few. Yeah, there are minions out there that this won't kill, but there's quite a few minions out there that this will easily kill. So, it is an attack that also will remove threat in a lot of cases. Provides energy, so I thought that was a good one. Bombs away, of course. We've mentioned this one multiple times, but since you're aerial and you have other aerial characters, it can work. But I also thought Hit and Run, which is a basic one that does both thwart and attack. It's an attack and a thwart event. It's a 3-cost event, so it's a little bit pricey for what it does, but deals 2 damage to an enemy, removes 2 threat from a scheme, and it also provides energy. So I've got those, and then also just to kind of fill other things, these are things I might play around to see if I would add any of these in the deck, but they are kind of cards that I'm a little bit on the fence about, but I did think that they might be good fits, and they are all setup cards as well. But there's Stun Gun here, which is this is a relatively newer card, right? Yeah, this is a relatively newer card that Dave's been using a lot of. I've used it limited, but I definitely like this in his build. It's a 2-cost upgrade. It's a tech weapon, restricted. Comes in with 2 charge counters, but you can exhaust it if you spend and choose how many charge counters you spend. If you spend 1, you're going to stun a minion, and if you spend 2, you're going to stun the villain.
I think it came in silk.
So okay, so yeah, it was pretty recent then. Another one that I've got here is Ops Room. So this is one I haven't played a lot of, but I felt like a good fit for his deck. It's 2-cost support. It's a shield support. Comes in with 3 alert counters. But whenever a friendly character would take any amount of damage while defending, you can remove an alert counter to prevent 1 of that damage, and also remove a threat from a scheme. So it's very similar to the energy barriers, but you're removing threats.
And you can combine it with Stronger Together.
Yes, you can. And then the last one here, of course, med teams, always a good choice for a protection deck. And because they allow you to heal, they use 3 protection counter or 3 med counters. You can remove 1 to heal 2 damage from a friendly character. Any friendly character, doesn't matter if hero, ally, or alter ego. And it's 3-cost support that does provide energy. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought of. Like I said, the earlier stuff were definitely things I was looking at, and those last few things are things that I would definitely consider and maybe change it up a little bit to, kind of, you could, play around with them to give a little bit of flavor to the deck, kind of fit your own play style a little bit more.
All right. So yeah, so those are our 5 deck ideas based on what we know for Wonder Man.
Yeah, they could change completely when we see more of his kit.
Yeah, they could change dramatically when we, because like the modifying, especially deck 1, we just don't know enough.
Yeah.
And, he is so versatile that I can't think of specific, scheming to go on. Ariel is a good one. Avengers is a good one to go on. But the fact that, there'll be all sorts of fun combos that you can do that you can't do with any other hero. Even more so than Spider-Woman, because Spider-Woman could do some of these combining events from 2 aspects anyways. But Wonder Man could combine, energy events from 4 aspects.
Yeah, the only other player that, the only other player that's getting events from all 4 aspects that I could think of is Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Gamora. That's right. She does too.
Gamora, yeah.
Attack events specifically.
Yeah.
Well, and thwart.
But this is like 3 copies.
Yeah.
Gamora is limited, but to attack and thwart. But I mean, the fact that you can do,
if you wanted to, you could do an entire deck of nothing but events for him. I'm not sure that I would do that, but you could.
But I mean, you could make an aggression deck where you just keep bumping up his basic stat, not the one that I did, but we got skilled strikes, mean swings. And then you throw in like morale boost, from leadership, you throw in the stat boosters. That's something that you can't normally do. And you
Yep,
can really pump up his, I think morale boost is an energy. I don't, I think,
that's in your deck.
oh,
Yeah,
that was in my deck. Yeah,
yeah.
that's, oh, yeah, it is. I don't know if I have it over here or not.
I thought you didn't. You? Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it's over there. It might be in with my pool cards. No, that was lead from the front. But anyways, yeah. So there's cards there's all sorts of crazy combos that you can come up with that you can't do with any other hero. I mean, Spider Woman it's probably the closest, but there's still the fact that you could throw that in plus turn around and heal or something, or
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that I really like about him, and why I think he'll actually be really good in protection is the fact that he has that auto heal, so
right.
he can take advantage of some of the stuff that protection's got that benefits you for the more hit points you have.
Right.
For
So like, yeah, you play a desperate defense to ready, and then you tuck it under him, and then you're healing one, during the villain phase. And then you turn around and you attack during the hero phase because you readied with the desperate defense, and you get to use that extra +1 that the desperate defense
yeah, and then you'll get the
provides to
cards
your
back,
attack.
so
Yeah,
you can use it again.
yeah. So you got a healing, you got a +1 attack, and you got to ready from when you defended. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't. I mean, I know I haven't tried to come up with a thought. A lot of it is because we don't know what else is in his deck. But I mean, I might see if I can do one that does a larger board state and then does a small select set of events so that it gets a lot of them through. But yeah, I'm not really sure how I would do that
Basic.
exactly until we see his. Not necessarily for basic. I know the events from other aspects,
Oh,
but doing a board state with whatever. I mean, he comes with leadership. Maybe I'll see, but I'm not leadership. He comes with justice. Maybe I'll see what what else they add to his deck.
all right.
The rest of his cards do.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there, and you'll get alerts whenever we post new videos. All right, see you.